Testing, 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 testing. Is this on? Alright. Proving evolution, because I need marks in biology class. Now, we have arguments against evolution, which I am sourcing from this site. It will be in the description. Yeah. So, we have a few, it says there's a few points here. Claims that evolution is not happening, no one has seen it happen, unbridgeable gaps between species, and how there are no dents or cogs. Which is kinda dumb. It does happen, and it can be seen in bacteria. And when people take antibiotics, the bacteria, it dies. But not all of it dies, some of it survives. And the ones that survive, they have like a trait that has let them survive. This is the trait that gets passed down, and through the passing of that trait to get survival, that is evolution. That's what it is, and it can be observed. This is one of the few observable instances of evolution because of how fast bacteria reproduces. Now, unbridgeable gaps between species, and that bridges have been found in the form of common ancestors. So I guess everything is everything else's stepbrother and stepsister, I guess. Here's a summary of how evolution has been observed. It's been observed through natural selection, where bacteria that aren't resistant to antibiotics die out, the ones that are resistant live, reproduce, leading to the adaptation and evolution. And also, we don't have a hybrid species because anatomy incompatible. Now, evolution has never been observed in the past, and, well, that's completely false. And it also claims how there's no transitional fossils, which there are. There's the transition between dinosaurs to birds, and from monkeys to humans. And scientists, they study fossils to get something where we know as the fossil record, and there you will find other instances of this, but not as commonly. And this whole argument claims that all life has DNA structures because Creator made them that way, and if you follow this way of thinking and ignore things like genetic ancestry, you could also ignore a lot of points that involve looking to the past for clues. Because one could say that it was made that way. But the previous things are about things that happened currently, so they go against that. And there's some additional things I need to talk about for marks. Vestigial structures is a body part in an animal. Like, for example, this thing, it's currently useless. The leg bone of a whale. But, it was originally in use by its ancestors, but has since, become obsolete and just sticks around because it had no effect on reproduction, so, there was no reason for it to, fully disappear. Kind of like how there are flightless birds that still have wings. Homologous structures. When you look at the skeletons of species and specific animals, you will see a lot of similarities. Fingers, upper and lower arms, maybe a wrist of some kind. Almost every animal have these, but due to evolution, these structures get repurposed for different tasks for different animals. Like how we have fingers to grab stuff. Bats will have those wings Frogs have whatever those are, cats have paws, etc., etc. Analogous structures. While homologous structures have very similar skeletal structures, but they have different things over them. Wait, no, they have similar skeletal structures, but do different things. These are the opposite. Whether they do similar things, but they don't have similar skeletal structures. So, like, there's birds and bats. And then there's adaptive radiation. All these birds, they came from one. They descended from one species of finches that spread out to various islands and adapted to the food sources there. Like some, they had to eat nuts, so they got better beaks for that. Some had to eat bugs, some had to eat fruits, etc., etc. And they evolved beaks that were specialized for the foods of their environments. There are a lot of other things I could talk about, but if you're dumb enough to not believe in evolution, you're probably not smart enough to understand those things, so I'm not going to bring them up anyways. Okay, bye.